Welcome, welcome to the workshop exercise. Welcome to the workshop exercise. This exercise will allow you to recreate that which you experienced in the video on your own by recreating the mental imagery. We're going to teach you how to do that. And of course, you could always go to the next video, the next exercise, and be led through mental imagery and guided through the mental imagery. However, the goal of this workshop is self-management workshops, and therefore it's best to try to do the exercises to guide yourself in your own imagery, and then you could do this whenever you want. This is workshop exercise step 1. 6 steps to living the moment at www.redefinetime.com. Copyright, of course, 2015, Adam Stein. Step 1 is about being present. The goal is to become anchored in the present. How we're going to become anchored in the present? By these two asterisks. We're going to feel the force of creation propelling you to be and experience a present sense of being. Now the goal, and I'm just going to read through this as we kind of guide you through this exercise. The goal is to experience how the world is being propelled to be, much like a rock is being propelled into the sky by the power of a throw. Now the methodology, of course, is the guided mental imagery, and you're going to now experience that imagery on your own within yourself. Step 1 homework exercise. Well, we have a meditation exercise, and then afterwards we have an exercise that's a little bit of an action exercise that you could do as a brownie point, but right now we'll focus on the meditation exercise. We're going to engage in self-guided mental imagery. We're going to read together here. Page 1 at the bottom. Gain an inner sense of being propelled to be by recreating step 1 in the comforts of your own home. Go through the following bullet points in your mind. Try to do this at least once a day in the morning before your day gets busy to experience that present sense of being propelled to be you as you are, standing alone to yourself, which is nothing else but you, every day in the morning. How are you going to do that? By going through these bullet points, top of page 2. These bullet points are literally the bullet points of the video you just watched. So therefore, it's mental imagery. We're not going to read these bullet points like you read a book. For an example, if I would just read straight, I would say envision a rock in its initial state of inertia on the ground. In order to get that rock to fly on high, there had to be an external power of a throw propelling a rock into the sky. That is not how we're going to do this. What you're going to do is you're going to read silently and create the mental imagery of the words in your mind. You're going to envision a rock in its initial state of inertia on the ground. Actually envision the initial state of inertia in the recesses of your mind. And you might want to read a phrase, close your eyes, envision it, and then read on. In order to get that rock to fly on high, there had to be the external power of a throw propelling that rock into the sky. So now envision that rock being propelled from its initial state of inertia into the sky, and imagine that there's external force of a throw propelling that rock into the sky. After you got that mental imagery straight, you go to the next one. Consider the world in its initial state of inertia before creation. Our world also had an initial state. What was it? It was in a state of non-existence. So now you have to imagine a world that wasn't forever, and it originally started from a state of non-existence. In order to take the world out of its state of non-existence into existence, there had to be an external force of creation propelling the world to be. So then you literally now imagine that state of non-existence, a world coming out of that state of non-existence into existence, and in the recesses of your mind, you see this external force propelling the world to be, much like the power of a throw propelling a rock into the sky. And you're imagining this in the recesses of your mind. Consider what was before the world now, an absolute state of nothingness. And then you would imagine a state in which there's no up and there's no down. A state in which there's no right, no left. No you, no me, nothing. And you imagine that infinite state of nothing. So you go through all these bullet points step by step, imagining and envisioning phrase by phrase until you recreate all the bullet points of the exercise that you heard in the video on your own. Of course, it's easier to hear it from the video, but if you do it from the video, then you're not really doing it on your own. And then the mental imagery is not being fully engraved in your consciousness, so that eventually you could see the world along these lines, which is the goal of this webinar. So you would continue the mental imagery to the best of your ability, all the way down, page 2, page 3, and then the middle of page 4, you now have, it's not really part of the program, but it's not a must, but it's definitely good to do, a step 1 action exercise. You can read this yourself, but you're going to learn a Kabbalah meditation on the word echad. E-C-H, if you see the indentation here, E and C-H-A-H-D. Echad. That's how you'd say it. And you'd read it to yourself. You'd have in mind 1, Cha 8, D 4. 1 being the oneness of God before creation. Cha, coming down 7 heavens and down to the physical earth. 8, D, to the 4 corners of the world. And you would close your eyes and you just imagine 1 Chod. And that you could read on how to do it yourself. Those who want to practice this within the context of Jewish ritual, it's the Shema Yisrael prayer. You have here in transliteration, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Lehinu, Adonai Echad. And that concludes our lesson for today. I encourage you to please stick with us, go on to step 2, and finish the course.